I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, because we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks.
What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Man, for the last couple of weeks, I'm saying, man, we should get JR in here. We should get JR in here. He's been contributing so much. And then Brother Dave bailed out this morning. He's got some Yard 23 business to take care of. So here we are with JR Saenz, Jim White, and Super Dave Weldon. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, everybody.
Happy
Morning, JR.
podcast day. I almost sounded like a boxing ring intro.
I was going to ask Jim, where's my intro? I got to get something cool. The sergeant.
Careful what you wish for, because we're going to do this again next week. I got you.
Buenos dias, everybody.
Jim out of sight White.
I want something cool, Jam.
JR, you want to represent the Navy and kick off the Pledge of Allegiance?
Will do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all of their families, and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for patience and in making a good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we all make it back to the comforts of our homes this evening. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God, and it's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
As a reminder, anything and everything you hear on today's show is not the opinion of JFW's. It is just the four men in this room's expressed opinion. Episode 217 had 279 downloads. We are at 109,000 even. Just 109.0 thousand downloads. Well, that might have changed since I wrote it down. I don't know. And we have 947 followers.
Kind of like the homes.com commercials.
Yep.
Climb that ladder.
Yep. There you go.
Another home sold.
No doubt. Well, JR,
No,
you're not fresh blood, but you are new.
I'm visiting.
late.
Yeah, he's not a Jaffo anymore, but he's the new guy.
There you go. Why don't you kick it off with the dad jokes?
All right. Well, they're definitely not dad jokes anymore. I can't find any originals anymore. I think after how many episodes are we on?
217? Yeah.
They've all been taken up or repeated. So I got this one from Scooby this morning. What is the difference between outlaws and in-laws?
Outlaws and in-laws. God, should be able to do that.
Oh, no.
Outlaws are wanted.
Ooh. Man, that's rough. Isn't he about to get married?
Well, he told me that, and I kind of clapped back at him, and I was like, hey, do you know what the secret is to having a smoking hot body as you become a senior citizen?
No, JR.
Cremation.
I saw that just the other day, too. Yeah.
I know he had dinner with his in-laws last weekend also. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Not that there's any relation there.
Did anybody get cremated?
No.
Okay.
No.
What do you got, Jim?
I have a business idea. I don't know if you guys, we've talked about AI and coming up with stuff.
Great.
So, Chick-fil-A, and they're closed on Sundays, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a food truck, and I'm going to park it right alongside Chick-fil-A, only on Sundays, and I'm going to call it Side Chick.
I like it.
That's great. I love it.
How many times do you go to Chick-fil-A or pass one on a Sunday and you want some and you're like,
they're closed.
It's closed.
They're closed, right?
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you got, soup?
Place. So I actually did go on a webpage that was just dad jokes. So we'll see how you like these official dad jokes today. So there was a guy and he had to go to a dentist because he had a bad tooth. What time was his appointment?
2:30.
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay. How many apples grow on a tree?
all of them.
Yes.
Wow.
What's made of leather and sounds like a sneeze?
Whip.
Well,
Oh, wait. Hot shoe? I don't know.
You were so close, Jam Man. Hotter, hotter, hotter. A shoe.
A shoe.
a shoe.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
man.
were smoking hot there.
All right. So let me ask you this, guys. If someone is born inside a car, but they die outside a car, are we able to say car born, die outside?
Oh, man.
Oh,
And I don't know if we did this one before, and I probably shouldn't do it either, but did you hear about the guy who dipped his balls in glitter?
That's not a dad joke.
that was pretty nuts.
Pretty nuts, right? There you go.
Oh, man. That
Good
just
job.
reminded me of the other one where if a person was born deaf, obviously they need to know sign language, right? But if they lost a finger or two, would that be considered a speech impediment or
Oh.
an accent?
Damn.
He'd be signing in shorthand.
There you go.
Oh man.
All right, no new employees this week, but we do have some celebrations. Kurt Spencer, he just hit 5 years this past Sunday, the 22nd.
I could have sworn Kurt just started yesterday.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kurt.
Congratulations, Kurt.
Yep.
Thank you.
Birthdays, got quite a few. Fabian Sotelo had a birthday on the 22nd. Frank Guccione had a birthday on the 23rd. Don Keller had a birthday yesterday. We miss you, Don. Can't wait for you to get back here. And Kevin Evans has a birthday tomorrow.
Nice. Happy birthday, guys.
Yeah. Happy birthday, everybody.
As we say sometimes in Mexico, Feliz Sapo Verde.
Yeah, I don't know that one. What is
That'd
it?
be happy birthday.
Literally, it doesn't make sense. It just means happy green frog.
Oh.
But when it's their birthday, you just tend to say Feliz Sapo Verde.
Huh.
You know, I don't know the
Okay.
meaning behind it. I just know that we do it.
Yeah, you guys got a few things like that.
You learn quite a bit down in dispatch, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Family birthday celebrations. Armando's son, Miguel Duval, had a birthday or has a birthday this Saturday.
Congratulations. And
Nice.
I mean, I imagine I will never forgive, but it's Evelyn's birthday today.
Hey,
So,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday, Evelyn.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the silent warriors that are actually silent warriors that did not make it to the Silent Warrior Luncheon. First and foremost, because we really screwed this one up, Francisco Alvarez. We missed sending him an invite, so he was not at the shindig.
Absolutely.
But Francisco, in his normal fashion, gave me a call and he says, Jam, I'm just wondering what excluded me this year from my third Silent Warrior. I'm like, that's a great question.
Not a damn thing.
Let me take a look. And I was like, it looks like we missed you. And then I
Yeah.
confirmed with Ann.
Yeah.
So we apologize, Francisco. You are the true meaning of a silent warrior. You just go out and get it done every day. Your wife makes more noise about your job than you do. So great job to you and great job to your support system.
Start calling him Ninja. That's how sneaky he is.
Yes. No
yeah,
doubt.
he came by the office last week when he found out about it, big smile on his face and everything like that. And
Yeah.
I told him, apologize. And he was like, oh, no problem. Good guy.
Knowing Cisco and just kind of interacting with him the little times at the fuel island or out there on, out in the field in the plants or the pits or whatever, it sucks that he did miss the luncheon, but I know deep down that inside he's really happy that he's gotten another one.
Mhm.
So he's just proud, more and more
Yeah.
proud of himself for
He-
that,
yeah. He's more proud of the achievement than missing the lunch. But the thing is I know Ann got him a gift card to Del Frisco's, so he should be eating really well.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, the
Or Chipotle. One of the. I'm getting some looks in here like, really?
or to ask, what disqualified me, to try to find
Yes.
out what I did wrong or what I can do better or to grow.
Yeah.
That's a big step right there.
Yeah. Right away, he looked inward, not outward. He didn't look like, hey, are you guys sure you didn't miss me? Or, I know he looked inwardly first
Yeah.
to find out what he could do better. So
Wasn't blaming somebody else.
Yeah, that's a life lesson right there.
mm-hmm.
You should always look inward first
Mhm.
Yeah.
and say, okay, what can I improve on, or what can I do,
Which
rather than looking outside and accusing, or
which we talk about a lot. That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Easy is just blaming something else, somebody else. It's the low road, the easy road, all that.
Sure.
But to look inward, man, you're judging yourself, and who wants to look at themselves in the mirror some days?
I learned that from interview questions. One of the questions we like to ask is, what do you do when things don't go your way?
I throw tantrums,
I know you do. I've sit
hold my
next to you.
breath, and start
Yeah.
stomping.
And a great answer is I look inwardly to see what I could do to make it go my way the next time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Yeah.
number 2 on the list of silent warriors that did not make the luncheon, Zach Tharp. Zach was invited, but we didn't dispatch him properly, so he couldn't make it. So sorry about that,
Yeah.
Zach.
Sorry, Zach.
I don't know what's worse, not being invited and not making it, or being invited and not making it. And then third on the list, Mike Cisneros. He was invited. He was dispatched properly, but somehow he didn't make it. I don't know if he got a flat tire or what might have happened. But we love you, Mike, and we wish you were there as well.
Tire Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. All you guys apologize. Wish you were there.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing about Mike, when he listens, he'll laugh at that.
Oh, yeah.
I love seeing him in the afternoons or even in the mornings if he's here at 5. And as soon as I see him, I just go straight into my bullying mode. I just like giving him crap.
Yeah.
I've never heard Mike Cisneros complain about a thing. Not one time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
I don't think so, Jim. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, all right, shout outs. This was a secret shout out. We didn't throw it into the podcast chat because BD didn't want these individuals to see it. But BD wants to give a shout out to Scooby and Kendrick for crushing it on the deaf system yesterday. And Dale also, he joined in at the end and he says those guys just did a great job. So,
Yeah, and I have
Amazing.
to tell them thank you because I had to work with Dave Saturday, and they took my place this week. So thank you. I didn't have to work with Dave.
nice. Been doing that your whole life.
Couple days breaks, fine with me.
Our good friend Bennett wants to give a shout out. He says, hey, Jam, could you add to the next podcast a shout out for Marcus Lopez, 0085. I would like to thank him for being helpful and showing me where to dump at Ulrich Dairy on his personal time. It's a bit different than the other dairies because they don't have a designated bin for wet brew grain. Thank you, Marcus.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yep.
This next shout out is from Tony Martinez. He says, what's up, Jam? I want to give a few shout outs on today's podcast. First shout out goes out to my boy, Jimmy V. Fabian and Oz with helping me load out at Breckenridge Brewery, along with getting a good solid load on Friday. Thanks for the tips and tricks, fellas. My other shout out is for JR. Is that a mistake? JR? My other shout out is for JR and Teddy for helping me grind off the strip bolts off the back of my trailer when I had to replace a mud flap. Also want to say thanks to Jam for telling us we're doing it wrong. Yeah, I seen 3 guys over there. I just didn't understand.
How many guys does it take to take off a mud flap?
3, apparently. And they ain't even doing it the right way. Thanks again, fellas. I really appreciate team effort. 0019, Bam Bam, a.k.a. Chingon, a.k.a. Chimichanga.
Yeah, no, shout out to him. Thanks for, that's one of those guys that has the experience, has been here long enough. He knows what needs to be done, but he still reaches out and, hey,
Yeah.
I need some help with this. As soon as he told me, hey, they're, the bolts are stripped up, and I'm like, oh, well, you need a grinder. Let's get a mechanic on that one.
Probably just how to find somebody stronger. I was like, I don't know.
Somebody that had the right tool.
There you go. This is kind of a shout out, but more feedback from our friend across the pond, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Is that across the pond? Would you consider, is it New Zealand? Oh, anyway.
Across the world, right?
Yeah,
across the world.
it's across more than just one pond.
It's not London, right? But it's far
Yeah.
away from here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Carl Simons, we had talked about him the other day. He had sent in an email. I think, Jim, you got the email and we read it.
Mhm.
And then we had some questions. And he responded on Instagram, and I saw it like when I was really busy. and somehow my brain was functioning this morning. I was like, man, that Carl guy, he responded. And where was it? And I started looking through the chats, and I started looking on Facebook, and then finally I'm like, let me look on Instagram Messenger, and then boom, I found it.
Oh, good.
So he had to say, hi, JFW crew. And Carl, if I screwed it up by saying you're from New Zealand or across the pond, if that's not the right terminology, I apologize. Hi, JFW crew. I heard your latest podcast, so I send through some more information and answer your questions. I'm due a 48-hour break in 6 days' time, so we'll work my way through the questions. I found you guys by following Jesse Bonds out of Oregon and came across the bulk loads video and followed him and found the JFW video of your new workshop, and I liked your family story and started to follow you guys. Carl.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Lot of good people right there.
Yeah.
Bulk loads and the videos and all that kind of stuff. Good. They're good people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bulk loads, they got some reach.
Yes,
You
they
know?
do. They do.
Yeah.
Some of our more current new hires had seen that video.
Oh, nice.
You know, they saw the video and they liked what they saw and what they heard. And
Yeah.
if you really look at it, I mean, it's blue collar people wanting to learn more about a blue collar job, right?
Mhm.
It's what we do, and it interested them.
I'm going to open up the floor to shout-outs. Anybody here have shout-outs?
I got a few, Jam.
Okay, go for
first
it.
off, to the Wash Bay, appreciate you guys, and they got their own DVIRs. You know, they're doing DVIRs for every single wash that they do for our service trucks, or
Wow.
trucks and trailers, and they've been keeping up with that. You know, being able to see how many trucks and trailers are getting through the night, getting pictures on damage that possibly not being reported or whatever the case is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and any type of feedback that they're putting in there as far as what they may need. For example, you know, they put in the other day, I think it was yesterday, the day before, that they put in that they've only been able to use one of the pressure washers at the other yard. And I don't know if they listen to the podcast, but if they do, Scooby's on it. I know they put that note again on last night, so they're trying to figure that one out. The other one is
Good job, Wash Bay. Thank you.
yeah. Part of the Wash Bay is Andrew. Lexi put in a note in last night's DVIRs that Andrew is teaching Benny how to back in the trailers, how to park them, how to move them, all that. So
Nice.
I did actually see them in the cab together, and when he was backing out, Andrew was out of the cab, you know, spotting them. So that's a good deal. Next one is Gandhi. Gandhi's taken over the tandem and pup while Varela is gone. So he was super nervous last week when he first got in, and you know, just trying to learn a new method, a new way of doing things with a new piece of equipment. That was a bit nerve-wracking for Gandhi, and we know how nervous he gets whenever he's in the office. So.
Yeah.
But good job, Gandhi.
Gandhi. Thank you.
Got some very good information yesterday on the tandem and what they allow up in Wyoming, you know, as far as gross weights and all. And then my last one is for Ricky. Ricky in the shop. He is sick as a dog right now.
Really?
I saw him taking a break yesterday with his head down by his toolbox, and he looks pale. And right now, same thing this morning, but he's trying to get through it. He's still here, and he's mechanicking along.
Wow.
The grit, right?
Yeah.
Good job, Ricky. I had no idea that's how hard he works.
I didn't notice it until in the afternoon. I'm like, Ricky, are you sick? And he's like, dude, like I am dying. And it's one of those, I'm sure he probably had a fever that he just felt tired and probably feels bad that he was just leaning on his toolbox. And I was like, dude, I got some Airborne. Come and get one of them. And hopefully that helped a little bit, but
I'll be sure to borrow tools from Teddy. So.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Gandhi, for trying something new, basically jumping in there and not saying no.
Yep.
Again, back to the Wash Bay, like you said, JR, that's awesome that they're in there. I wanted to throw out the, you know, trying to work with the different pressure washers and stuff. I mean, we're 90 days away. I'm going to throw it out there from being in the new building.
Wow.
And, you know,
It's
having
moving.
all new washers and just set up different. And I just hope there's, you know, I'm sure we'll run into our bugs where something we've messed up or not done quite right, and we'll get it fixed. But it's exciting to have them all together in one unit, and I hope it makes it so much better for the Wash Bay. So, yeah,
I'm sure they're looking forward to it, Jim.
yeah, absolutely. Didn't mean to interrupt you, JR.
Nope,
Did you
not at
have
all.
more?
Nope, that was it.
And then I just wanted to mention for a shout out. We haven't talked about them for a while, and I think it's kind of. Oh, I guess I'm going to say it. It's a thankless job. I had a nice little discussion side meeting with Tracy about dispatch and Linda and Oz and Tracy and dispatch. Cause you know, this time of year when it's slow, You're trying to find every piece of work you can. You're trying to be fair to everybody you can. You're trying to, we have early start times. We have late start times. We don't want, people after 2:00 on this job site and just everything. It is so much easier to dispatch when you're busy because you're just clicking along. You're just marking the box, load done, load done, load done. And this time of year, it just doesn't happen that way. And I know a lot of the drivers are, bugging them, wanting it this way and that way and different things like that. And they're trying to meet their expectations. They're trying to take care of JFW. They're trying to take care of me and Dave and what we want done with the company and, all sorts of different stuff. We've had, a lot of breakdowns. We've had, like the big boulder job, trailers breaking, all of that add up and they handle all of that with smiles and grace. And so, yeah, shout out. I don't think we've done that for a while.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Appreciate everything you guys do. Again, Oz and Tracy and Linda, you guys are rock stars. I appreciate it.
They all got big shoulders. They carry a lot of weight around here.
Absolutely, Jim. Absolutely.
Talk about a lot of multitasking too. I mean, they take care of the phones, they take care of the drivers, they take care of the customer. They just got 1,000,001 things going on at the same time, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. And it's a tough job. It's not one of those jobs that you would just be like, oh, I want to be a dispatcher, until you're in it and you're like, oh man, this definitely takes a special person to do it.
Yeah,
especially for the way JFW does things.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's demanding. I mean, me and, we all, including the drivers, they demand a lot out of them. And then me and Dave stack all this on them that we demand from them. And like exactly what you said, JR, all the stuff they do and dispatch it on the computer. And I know they take care of a lot of the leasy stuff as far as ticketing and entering stuff. And so they're in the, they're doing billing, they're bidding jobs, and in bidding, there's no exact formula on bidding a job. I mean, there's your base, but, is it down Highway 85 or is it out, I-70 all the way to Burlington where you don't stop? What's the weights that we can carry? What's the, how busy is the stoplights or, all that kind of stuff. When they bid, they're bidding stuff constantly. Yeah. And that's on, like you said, Jim, that's on their shoulders. Screw one of those up. You got us upset at them. You got drivers upset at them, or you make it too high and you don't get the job,
Yeah. And then you run into, things got to go the right way. And then a driver makes a mistake and kind of,
oh man,
brings the wrong thing to the wrong place or didn't bring enough or, yeah, I mean, there's just so much to deal with and, they got to just stay even keeled all the time. I haven't seen any of them lose their stuff.
No. And you guys are down there all the time with them. Is that on here, Jim? Is that one of the topics about reading I know it was in the notes about, it just seems like a good segue to read your stuff in
Linda did touch on it.
The wrong tickets.
It's in there.
Yeah. I mean, they have to deal with all of that.
Entering them every load and not at the end of the day. So there's quite a bit on that.
Yeah. So that's just all has to do with dispatch because they have to fix it.
Yep.
They have to call the customer and go, hey, all your equipment got delivered someplace else or all your loads or, it's not an easy job.
So living, breathing monster.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into these discussion topics and we'll retouch on those tickets a little bit too, Jim. I want to send out my sincerest apologies for missing yesterday's safety meeting. I completely forgot to schedule that and see who's supposed to be in it. So if you're not engaged and you're not listening to the podcast, I'm sorry I let you down yesterday and didn't have you in the meeting. So
there's always thought there was just nobody on it.
I thought it was somebody. We were done with that.
No, I think there was one person on it, but I totally slipped it up. But I don't know if it's because I had a meeting scheduled for yesterday morning or I just forget things sometimes. I'm 53. So.
Well, but it's something that shouldn't be happening. It's up. It's on top of the whole pile.
Yes. And as a reminder, I mean, next week, there's definitely going to be one. And also, while you're in doing this safety meeting, which is now listening to the podcast and taking the knowledge challenge, which is what we asked you to do from the beginning, your truck is out there making money without you. And if it's not an area where we're going to bring it back to get you, you may not work that day just because.
Not guaranteed work.
Yeah, we're out there doing our jobs. So keep that in mind. Next thing on my list is pay attention to your Connect team announcements. I hear it time and time again in the mornings speaking about dispatch. And things you got to deal with is, hey, we put this out on Connect. Oh, I didn't get it. No, you didn't read it. You got it.
Yeah.
Yep. You just didn't read it. Connect Team is our main communications platform. There's things on there that if you're not paying attention to, you're going to miss it. It could be we have a 7 a.m. start for people going to this pit. And when you call at the pit at 6 and say, hey, there's nobody here, well, there's a reason for that.
I told you not to start till 7.
Yeah, we try to tell you, we put it on Connect Team. Oh, I didn't get it. No, you didn't read it. So.
Yeah, that's sorry, Jim.
No, go ahead, Jim.
No, I was going to say like that. If there is something on Connect that's coming up on your screen and it's asking you to confirm, and all you're doing is clicking through that to get rid of that, then you're blatantly saying, hey, I don't want to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we're asking you to press on the confirm button that you read that.
Yes.
A lot of times it has to do with the start times, or the big one is which way to go in and out of the new Knicks pit. How many drivers did we have still going in the way we told them that they're not supposed to go in? And
on County Road 28?
Yeah. and I get one of the drivers, I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. Like, how'd you not know about that? That was on Connect Team. Like, that was a confirmation. Oh, I must have forgot, or I must have missed it. I'm like, that's part of our job. We need to know what to do, what the customer's asking, or, there's a reason for why these things are going on.
There's a reason for everything.
Yeah.
So Connect, you sometimes have to search around a little bit for the announcement. Sometimes it's up on the little bell in the corner and it has a red dot saying, number 1, or you have 2 things or 1 thing. I'll open my Connect and say, wait a minute, I got an email saying I have a new Connect notification, and I look at it and say, well, there's no new chats. I have nothing there. And then I'm like, oh, I got to click on the feed.
Yeah.
And then there's an announcement. And then, so it's just not going to pop right up on your screen the minute you open Connect sometimes.
Actually, if it's a announcement that needs to be confirmed, they do auto-populate.
Yeah, I mean, mine pops up. I mean, I was, the one I asked you to fix the other day, Chan, because it kept popping up, and I'm like, I'm tired of reading it, on that. No, I was going to say, I guess, same thing you guys are saying. I know it really, really works because that's how I stay in touch with everything going on, is to read the Connect. It's all right there. I know about the pit. I know about not going in on, Road 28, all the stuff. And I was going to joke with you guys. It works so well that when we go in for like the podcast stuff or anything like that, and I haven't looked at it, it goes, you missed 17 conversations, or you've missed
in the chat.
In the chat. Yeah. And like, okay, I got to go back up because I've missed all that. It's telling you haven't even read them.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what's nice, you just click on it and it goes right back to the beginning.
And you just read that. I guess there's just no excuses. It works that well is what I'm getting at.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. The next couple of items are from Mikey and the shop. Number 1, the trailer landing legs. Please inspect the pins, right? So you have your landing leg, you have a pin that goes through there, and then you have a cotter pin that holds that pin in place. You want to check the pin. You want to check the cotter pin to make sure that's all secure, but also check the female part of the landing leg and make sure the part that pin is in isn't getting walled out and so thin that pin's eventually just going to fall out, okay? Those landing legs, if they come out on the interstate, I mean, they could kill somebody for sure. So.
Just about 2 years ago, Jam, we had one come out on on Bellevue, whatever. We had a driver coming from Union back to the yard, and one of them fell out, and it damaged the whole oil pan and front fender or front bumper on some low car, and so we had to pay for all that.
Yeah, imagine that's a human leg.
Yeah.
It'll just rip right through that.
Yes, absolutely.
Another thing that could come loose that we want to hold on to is your fuel caps, okay? Make sure they're secure as part of your pre-trip. We lost 2 fuel caps last week, right? If your fuel cap is leaking or it doesn't have the little lanyard that holds it to the tank, write it up, right? That's a good way to make sure you don't lose that. And also, before you leave, make sure your fuel cap is on and tight so we're not spilling fuel through the yard and out on the street and all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing I want to add to that group there too, and Mikey didn't bring it up, but so I don't forget you guys, and I know you just helped change a mud flap and stuff, but a trailer went out the other day and on the rear fenders of the trailer, but both the front flaps on the front of the fenders were both on backwards. So
Had that bumpy side out or whatever.
Yeah,
It looks
so
ugly.
the anti-spray part, if it says anti-spray, you guys, that goes against your tires. So when the tires are turning and there's a spray, they dissipate the water coming off. So that the bumpy part, like JR just said, great description, that goes against the tires, you guys, not away from it. So if you have to change a mud flap or have to do something, let's put them on correctly, because everybody out there knows which way they are supposed to go, and it doesn't look.
Again, it's a reason for the design, right? There's a reason why one side is smooth, one side looks different.
Mhm.
If you're not asking questions, oh, why is that? And you're just slapping them on, you may be doing it wrong. In fact, there's a picture at the red shop that shows you, hey, this is the correct way, this is the incorrect way.
At the mud flap station.
Yeah. And, just got to pay attention. And we go back to, that internal checklist. You got to make sure that's correct. If you're done fueling, make sure that you're putting the cap back on and make sure it's on there securely.
Amen. Next on the list from the shop, if you need tire chains, come see somebody in the safety department. You don't want to pull a mechanic off of working on the truck. Go get you a set of chains. We'll take care of that for you. We don't mind. So just come see somebody in safety.
Yep. And that's, we're required tire chains until May 31st, if I'm not mistaken.
We're getting close. We're not there yet, though.
Yeah.
September 1st through May 31st.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, in the winter we've had, we shouldn't. Nobody should really need any chains. We just haven't used them.
A couple of guys needed them last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. John Jordan come in. I told you I worked over there with Dave Saturday at Yard 23. I mean, his truck must have had, I don't know, 2,000 pounds of ice and snow on it. Because as we worked, it was so beautiful. Saturday, you'd hear this big boosh, and you look over there, and the landing legs had fell off, and then a mud flap had fell off. Yeah. It was crazy.
Jim, I got to say, I was watching the guys the day before because they were going to the Vail salt shed and the Frisco salt shed, right? Well, John was out in Utah, and he was coming back early that morning, the next morning. And I just clicked on him, and I saw the picture, because you just click on the icon and you can see the outward picture from the truck as they're driving. And he was in Glenwood Canyon, and it was just icy, and his windshield was all iced up. And
wow,
I was like, oh my gosh, John, it's got to be nasty. In Glenwood Canyon, you know how nasty that gets.
It sucks when it's dry.
Yeah.
I love playing around with the street sense thing now since that came out, because there's different parts of the country I want to see.
Yeah.
And anybody that has Samsara, you could see that front-facing camera image.
Yep.
Or just like last week, we were talking about Canada, and I was like, I wonder what Canada's looking like right now.
It shows
it's
Canada.
like all whiteout conditions. And
and then you flip down to someplace in Florida and go, oh, yeah.
It's nice and warm.
A lot of
palm
vehicles
trees
out
right there
with Samsara. Huh?
Yes, a lot of vehicles on Samsara.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Window tint. The Wyoming port has let it be known that they're going to be cracking down on window tint on our trucks. Allegedly and supposedly, there's other trucking companies in Wyoming that has complained about our window tint. Haters are going to hate, but I don't know. I saw Jim made a mention he would just take it off.
I I could say lots of things.
This has been going on for forever and a day. So.
Yeah. The thing is, Jam, and obviously I have my windows tinted on my pickup, right? And I have tinted them, through all the years. But as I get older, I really don't like the tint. I have a tough time seeing through
especially in the dark.
In the dark, exactly. And I make sure I roll down my windows.
When you're turning?
Yes.
Yes, no doubt, Jim.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so there's that part of me that's going, man, I'd take it off my big truck. I just, especially as much as you guys run in the dark, and then you're back to the same thing. It's nice when it's sunny out, all that kind of stuff. But why entertain the C dot or Y dot or any of them to give you a hard time over it?
Yeah.
And I know that the truck stops, and they're not that expensive or anything, but there's the clip mesh thing that you can just slide up on the sunny side and roll it back down.
That's true.
And it's a suction cup, or it hooks on the top of the window, doesn't hurt anything, doesn't tear anything up, and it's quick and easy.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's what I would do over tint, because It doesn't work with trucking.
Just got to make sure it's the one you could see through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there is solid ones, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Man, I remember years ago we had a guy throw a safety vest up on his driver's side window, and
Yeah, more than once, actually.
that made me like I lost my mind a little bit on that.
Yeah, I can't see out that mirror, huh?
Here's the thing, though, too. If you go through the Wyoming port or any port, and they have, let's say you're going through there, and like your hoses are off the catwalk, but they see you got window tint, and they're gonna pull you in for the window tint, and at least ticket you for that. What else are they gonna find?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everything else is good. You'll have to pay if they write you a violation or if they cite you for that. That ticket's yours, but it goes on our CSA score as well.
It does, and it carries a lot of weight, and I think
does.
they made it that way because they don't want people to be tinted,
Right.
companies to okay that being tinted. So,
Oh, this was from Mikey as well. If you're having problems with your truck, inform or check with dispatch before going out of town, right? Let us know, if you're having a problem, we would rather keep you here in town. It's a lot cheaper for us to fix you or, make a service call or just bring you back to the yard than if you're out of state somewhere. That's just hurts us.
and I kind of get the reason behind that. You want a truck, you want to go out of town, we're a little slower, you're trying to do all that stuff. But man, if you're, like you're saying, Jim, if your transmission isn't shifting right or it's not, the clutch isn't going in, you've had a couple of faults, don't let dispatch, go out or, ask if you could ask the shop or talk with Mikey or talk one of them, go, hey, this has been going on. Am I okay to go out of town?
Right.
Back to the communication thing.
Yeah.
And you Mike's exactly right. You're exactly right, Jam. To try to fix that truck in Wyoming, Utah just doesn't work for us.
I mean, we may even find somebody that's willing to swap trucks with you for a day.
Yeah,
If you go
absolutely.
out of town.
There's,
Lots of solutions.
Yep. That was just one of the conversations I had with Tracy in dispatch. It's as as you're slow and things are changing, everything we can fix everything with communication. And sometimes we're just not communicating because we don't think it's the right thing or we're, busy or whatever. And, a little conversation goes a long ways.
Absolutely. We've had several drivers picking up the wrong tickets at pits, so we'll revisit this now. Or they're picking up tickets with incorrect information on them. Please make sure you're checking your tickets before leaving the scale so that you could get them corrected when you're there. We have several plants upset with the frequency in which we're dropping off incorrect tickets. On Thursday, somebody dropped off a Calabrese ticket for ACRC Federal at Plant 24. Obviously, they did not check anything after getting this ticket. Professional drivers need to be professionals. Checking the accuracy of tickets is required for every ticket you get. Man, and I'm guilty, so I'm not really throwing stones here, but if you know you have the wrong ticket at the scale at the ticket box, that's the easiest way and the fastest way and the most convenient way to get it fixed. Right there, they'll just reprint you the right one right there. Once you leave and you get off the scale, even if you're at the pit, now you got to go inside. But once you leave, now all of a sudden, your complacency or you not doing your job has become dispatch's problem.
In Billings problems, in the pits problem, in the
all kinds of
customers
other
problems.
problems.
Yeah.
And it looks bad. I mean, we can't even bring you the right ticket. That just is a terrible look for us.
Ultimately, it's the driver's problem too because it's his paycheck. Like if you're not checking your tickets, you're not checking your weights, are you legal to get on the roadway you're going to get on, or that kind of deal.
Are you checking your truck?
Yeah, exactly, right? And then ultimately, even if it was your ticket, it is for your truck, it is for the customer, but the destination, for example, if you're not actually looking at that, maybe you have a Fort Lupton, and this wouldn't happen, right? But if you had a Fort Lupton going to like Fairplay or Plant 13, let's just say, that might be a little bit more realistic. But instead it says, Fort Lupton to Plant 3, you're not getting paid the amount that you're supposed to get paid. You're going to get your paycheck and you're like, wait, why am I short so much?
How much do you get for a Calabrese ticket?
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing. Zero.
Yeah. And then obviously the next line, Jam, is if you know your ticket is wrong, do not upload it into Sidekick.
Yeah.
So I go ahead and take a picture of my Calabrese ticket and make sure I upload it.
Yeah. I mean, this actually happened, Jim. I mean, I just overheard it all. Like, driver hazard our ticket and then just put it into Sidekick anyway. Like that just creates even more work.
Yeah.
So they didn't even read it at that point.
No, they did. They knew it was wrong.
Oh, they
at that
did.
point.
Okay.
And
then just loaded it
That's
up
even
anyway.
worse.
Again, there goes a shout out again to dispatch because they go out of their way to help drivers,
Yeah,
right?
to
That's
fix
what we
it.
do, right? But
Yep.
I just encountered this the other morning where a driver calls in and says, "Hey, I forgot to put my ticket into Sidekick, but it's in the box." You know, and in one instance, I heard our dispatcher say, "Hey, yeah, I'll go look for it and I'll put it in for you," right? That's going out of their way among all the other hundreds of things going on with them, right?
Mhm.
That's great to
Mhm.
help that driver make sure he gets paid, right? But then I heard the other way around where they're just tired of doing it for them that they're like, "Hey, tickets are going to be in the box. When you get back in, you can look for it."
Mhm.
You know, and I love that answer because ultimately it is the driver's responsibility to get that in there.
Yeah, it gets some skin in the game too, looking through that box, it takes, they got to fix their problem.
Yeah.
You could look at it this way, everybody, that there's a lot of moving parts to keep our truck as a company moving in the right direction. The mechanics, the drivers, the dispatchers, people upstairs, doing billing and everything. Everybody needs to take care of their part of the pie. And so if you double check your truck before you go out of the yard, that's another example to use. So just be careful of all the parts that you're responsible for taking care of.
It just reminds me of when you explain the creed to new employees, Dave, when you're in the interviews in line 3, when you talk about creating honest value and say, what does honest value mean to you? And they'll tell you whatever they tell you. And then you tell them it means giving your very best. To me, if you're not checking your tickets and you're not doing that, you're not giving your very best. You're not giving anything. You're just along for the ride.
Yep.
We're back to saying you're not just a driver. You have a multi-layered job here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and go to other jobs and it's easy because the way you've been trained here or the way you learn to do things here and the way you handle stuff, there's a lot to being just a driver, isn't there, JR?
Well, your responsibilities are huge.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever received a package and it's got the wrong packing list in it, but the right stuff? And you're like,
It happens with Harbor Freight all the time.
what was going on at that warehouse? Do they drug test their employees?
Not required.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh, man. All right. We talked about this last week, and I was surprised to see dispatch ask again for it this week. We've already talked about it. And that's upload your Sidekick every load. Not at the end of the day, not every other load. Do it every single load.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, old school, Jam, when you kind of made the remark that you're not throwing stones about the ticket, that you've grabbed, the wrong ticket or stuff like that. As, you used to be a lot of times talk to the scale person or be right there. And I know you are, still that way, but like up at Fry's, for example, or it used to be at Fry's, ticket in the box. That's the place I learned. I'm like, I have to go through every ticket. I have to make sure it's my ticket.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be printing the truck behind you while you were just stepping out of your truck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess throwing the stones, Jam, I kind of quit doing that because you couldn't. It's so busy. It's so, back in the day, you could have done that a little easier, and trusted the ticket. A mistake didn't happen that much.
Right.
Coming out of Fry's or some of the other places, it's electronic. Man, you got to be on your game.
Yep.
So, and for myself, I hated coming in at the end of the day, grabbing all my tickets, make sure I didn't lose any in the cab. One didn't blow out the window. I didn't miss one, writing them all down, taking the time and having to write, where I went, what the tonnage was, all that kind of stuff. This is all done for you in seconds.
Right.
Take a picture, enter the tonnage, the way you go. It is just so much better than the old school. And then when you used to have to write your stuff down, you're like, shit, I know I had that ticket. I know I did that load.
Right.
And then can't find the ticket.
Mhm.
So it's just much better. Do it every load, knock it out. We've made it easy.
I agree. Jim, you want to take this next one about the license plates?
Yeah, guys, I don't know. We got today and tomorrow left on the February stuff, and I know a lot of the guys warned us that a local cop pulled us over and said they won't allow the 30-day grace period. I know the port's been bugging us about it, all that kind of stuff, just so everybody knows. And maybe it's a conversation if hopefully we can solve it in the next couple days. But we went ahead and JFW went ahead and made payment for the license plates last week on the 18th and submitted all the stuff. Everything's right. Usually takes a couple days. I can send them 3 or 4 messages, or I can send them a message over their platform, the IRP platform, and get a response back. I've gotten no response back from the state on our stuff. So yesterday I sat on hold for 45 minutes, got through to somebody, and I should have recorded the conversation. It would have been great. And the person was very helpful. The reason I'm saying recording it is she literally said, IRP is really behind. When did you make payment? And I really think you'll get your plates this week, was the response I got. That's the best they could do. So I think if we do luck out and we do get our plates, what will happen is I'll be able to print the current registrations. We'll try to get them in the trucks if it shows up, but I know we won't have the stickers. We just won't.
Should still be in the system, though. They should be able to run the plate and be like, yeah, you guys are up to date.
Absolutely, JR. That's part of this announcement. They're paid for. I don't know if they made us up to date, but if we can do it in the next couple of days, you won't have a sticker on your truck. But like you said, JR, you're spot on. Look us up in the system. We're current. I don't know what to do about the state.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason for the supposed grace period. And you looked up the state statute on it, JR. It's for this reason, and I don't think anybody understands that they mail us 110 stickers in an envelope. That's how it's not vehicle by vehicle. It's not nothing. They just kick out 110 sticky tabs and expect us to get it done in a day.
Right.
That doesn't happen. So, if it does, I'll be monitoring their website to see if it comes up in the next few days. Hopefully Monday will be no big deal. But if we get into next week, we got to work together, got to be proactive for any of the ports, state patrolmen, policemen, I could really stay on my soapbox, but we literally paid them $400,000 last week, and you can't get us our plates. It's pretty. You've been paid. Wouldn't all of you want something for $400,000?
No.
A house.
Right, Jim? Right? You go to closing for your house, you pay somebody $400,000, you get the keys. Yeah. It's so frustrating, you guys, and I know you don't want to have to deal with it, and I don't want you guys to have to deal with it, but I want everybody to know that we've done everything we can. 2 weeks early.
So maybe if you're going through the port, you should peel your window tint off so they don't look at you any more closely than they have.
Don't give them more reasons.
Hey, look at those expired plates with the window tint and the airlines dragging on the deck plate.
Maybe we'll get them on a bridge law.
Right.
Wow.
On a related note, too, guys, your license plates, guys, I'm seeing a lot of them are damaged. A lot of them are bent up. A lot of them are, I don't even know how that's happening. So, guys, just a reminder, don't push up onto piles. Don't try to go over piles that you think that the bumper's going to go over or anything like that, because essentially, the license plate is right there on the bumper and it ends up getting damaged.
I feel attacked.
How's your license plate?
Have you looked at it?
I know.
I didn't even know anything about that.
I'm throwing myself under the bus. And we're talking about my pickup truck.
Well, we're talking about the semis. So, that bumper's not a shovel. It's not a,
Yeah, and think about it, JR.
A snowplow.
Know as well as we do, the Kenworths are way off the ground. And that setback axle and the V bumper, we used to fight that problem with the big Texas Square, but man, you should not be touching that license plate on the Kenworths. Whew.
All I could say is it happened hunting. All right, last thing over here, mud flaps. JFW does not pay you downtime for reapplying or installing a mud flap you tore off.
Yep.
Sounds fair to me.
Behind that dumping is to learn how not to rip off a mud flap.
Yep. And typically, once you replace one, you learn you don't want to do it again. Here's the thing, though, too. If you see somebody trying to replace a mud flap on their own, you may want to go give them a hand, because a 5-minute job could turn into a 30-minute job by yourself if you just, like I know Martinez was struggling. He had to call in reinforcements. But yeah, I mean, help your fellow driver out because they may help you one day. And it's really easy with two people. It's easy with one person, but it's really easy with two people.
I have to say it kind of sucks with one person because you got to reach around for the first bolt, right, Jam?
Yeah.
And get it in there. And I know when you jumped in the other day and helped somebody, and it is so easy with the two people, but you communicated which bolt are we starting on, inside or out,
Yes.
and let's talk about it, knock it out.
Yeah.
Also, let's learn how to get off the island. Like just because you rip off a mud flap doesn't mean you have to come into the shop and get another mud flap.
Yeah.
I mean, try to reuse that mud flap. The way that bracket is designed is to hug the whole thing as you start tightening all 4 bolts. So you can still probably get through the day, or in fact, you probably could still use that mud flap for quite some time before it even comes loose again.
So in your tool bags that you're issued, you have 2 vice grips. And you can use both of those vice grips to hold the mud flap up in place. Even if you've just torn it off and you need to set it up there so you can get the bolts back in, really, really helps.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Pinch it. Great pointer.
Yeah, that makes it easy by yourself.
Yep.
There's adjustable wrenches in there too.
See,
Yeah.
that's experience talking there. Good job,
I've
Sue.
replaced a mud flap or 2.
Huh.
You've also gotten off the island once or twice. I don't know what you keep going back to the island for, but
That's life, Jim. Life puts you on that island sometimes.
JR, I'm going to turn over the what's next section to you.
All righty
dun
then.
dun dun.
Well, yeah, that's that sound is becoming more and more prevalent as we come to the end of the week. I'm excited but nervous at the same time. But guys, we've come to that last week of February, and March 1st is the first day that we all start on the electronic DVIRs for Samsara. So to make this easier and for a smooth transition, guys, we are going to start phasing drivers in. I know we already got quite a few in the 001 through the super tandem lot over there, that side of the yard, with a few others there that I added yesterday. But starting today, this afternoon, more than likely I'll call these individuals today, but if you're hearing this, 0018, the drivers for 0018 through 38 and all slip seat drivers, anybody that does not have an assigned truck, come get with me and I will start phasing you into the electronic DVIRs and explaining that. Tomorrow, Thursday, 0039 through 69. So everybody in the red lot, I'll start phasing you guys in. And then for Friday, I'll start phasing in everybody at yard 23. It's really important that you guys are logged out of the app, so that way when I phase you guys over to the new DVIR and all that stuff, everything works as you're logged out. It doesn't update while you're logged in or anything. So part of that smooth transition also, guys, is make sure all your trainings are up to date on there if you had anything assigned. Any of your events, following distance or harsh brakes, whatever it is that's gotten sent to you, get that out of the way, get it done, review it. That way, when you phase into the new system or the new update, as far as what I do on the back end here, it doesn't interfere with you going through your DVIRs or anything like that. Again, I have everybody through 001 and all the super tandems already going through it, so I'm kind of hoping they kind of help me. So if you guys got questions and you see one of those drivers out there doing it, ask them questions, how it's going for them, how they smoothly go about it and all, Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the electronic DVIRs.
And logged out, I know the guys run compared to what I do, JR, is I log in every time when I want to do a mileage or something like that, because I'm not tracking my hours or doing any of that kind of stuff. So they literally just need to log out, just like not be running it for the day.
Exactly. So not exactly logging out. So the thing is that we've built a workflow so that way you don't miss a step. So we're trying to help you not miss a step, right? When you log in, the whole thing is that you'll have to log in the mornings for a pre-trip, and then you'll stay logged in all day, off duty, without the vehicle selected, so it doesn't run the hours. And then at the end of the day, when you actually click on sign out, it will run you through the workflow again for a post-trip. And then basically going about that way. You will not log in while you're at home because it's going to force you to want to do a pre-trip if you're at home. And it won't let you get to the homepage if you're just trying to review your safety score or something like that. You won't be able to until you're at home. which essentially you should be enjoying your family, enjoying your home. Don't worry about that stuff until you're here at work.
Gotcha.
So-
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and let's do that, you guys, because instead of pencil whipping that paper, we need to be it's all about being better,
Yeah.
being more information, helping the shop, helping. Well, this is just going to make us so much better. It really will.
I think it's going to be a lot easier.
Oh my gosh, just going in there and tracking who's doing the DVIRs, how many they've done, because there's a set number of how many you're going to do, one for the tractor, one for the trailer in the morning, and then again in the afternoon. So you could go down the list of drivers and be like, hey, this person did 4, this person did 4, and then all of a sudden the one that pops up with 2, well, is that a super tandem driver or is that a driver with a trailer, So you can really pick out who's doing it, not doing it now, and the pictures we're requiring, the oil dipstick, not the dipstick itself, but the level, the oil level, the coolant level.
Have you got a picture of just a dipstick?
I've gotten pictures of just, somebody's putting the dipstick out there and I'm like, I can't see the level. The whole point is to see the oil level,
Is that truck porn? Just a picture of the dipstick.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
That took a turn. Yeah, so it's just making it a lot easier, a lot more, I guess, smoother.
Yeah.
Not having to track down paper. It's going to be easier for any future, hopefully no future incidents or anything like that. But the tracking, for Mikey, I know that Kenworth, when we have a certain malfunction, whether it's engine or transmission, they're now asking for like oil samples or, hey, let's get your maintenance record for this truck on your oil changes. Now it'll be as easy as just looking up the truck and looking at those pictures to track any type of trends, and then essentially any type of maintenance record, anything that the shop is doing as far as fixes for write-ups or shorts and things like that.
And you got to go back and killing all the trees.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to save a lot of trees for us.
Oh,
I mean, it's just being responsible.
yeah.
And I can't even emphasize enough also that the simplicity of how easy it is to track all this stuff, Yeah. A lot of the mechanics are, I know Ricky and Teddy love it. They're very descriptive as to what they're doing on their truck.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
Absolutely. JR, I'm going to turn over the safety topic of the week
Oh, dang.
to you because you wrote it.
All right. So as busy as our days get, sometimes we can't do this every single week, guys. But when we do it, it is a routine check we do. We check weights. We go into Sidekick on the back end and we pull up every ticket that is above 85,000 pounds and we do spot checks. Maybe I'll have a list of 10 drivers or 10 trucks and see, hey, where did this truck go from and where did he go? Did he haul more than 85,000? Did they get on the interstate? And hopefully, and most of all, that nobody did do that. Or anybody that's hauling over 92,000, that also means if you're 92 and 60 pounds or 100 pounds over, yeah, we're checking that stuff. Do it the right way. This is a good way of us finding out who's really doing it the right way when we're not looking.
Right.
Because it's not something that we do every single day. We have to do spot checks. Unfortunately, we did find some violations yesterday, and we did meet with one of the drivers yesterday and got a few more meetings today. But, remember, anything over 92,000 is a no-go for us. Even though our permit allows it, we don't. JFW has a hard line policy of 92,000 pounds. You could not only or if you disqualify yourself from your safety bonus, but going over 92,000 pounds, according to our policy, that could be an immediate termination. That's a big deal. So don't exceed the 92,000 pounds. Don't be asking for a weight that's going to possibly exceed that. Cut down by half a ton or 1 ton so that way you don't get overloaded.
And just to be clear, that's on secondary roads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. New drivers, first 90 days, you are restricted to 85,000 pounds as a new driver during your probationary period. And I've gotten questions about that. Well, I have overweight experience. I've done heavy haul and stuff. Like, that's great. Use that experience. You know exactly what it takes to haul that. But the thing is that we don't know you. We don't know what kind of safety, hopefully no bad safety habits, right? No following too close too much or not speeding a lot. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get to know you. And it's also a trust factor thing. Are you actually a person we can trust to follow our policies, the law, and all that stuff, you know? So,
Yep. Just because you did it before doesn't mean you did it the right way.
Exactly. So first 90 days, no go over 85,000 pounds. And, the reason for that too is because at your 90-day mark, we like to get with you and give you a little axle weight and gross weight quiz to see where your decision making is at and how much you understand the gross weights and axle weights, and ultimately your load gauge calibration. Is your load gauges calibrated? We're giving you these tools, and after 90 days, you don't know how to use it. What have we been doing,
Can I interject real quick,
Go
JR?
for it.
Yeah, if you're coming to take JR's heavy permit test, things you want to know is how to axle out. Very important. How to get to places when you're over 85,000 pounds without getting on the interstate. And then also how to calibrate your gauges. If you don't know those things, you're not going to be able to pass the test.
Yeah, there's a reason for it, right?
Yes.
Again, everything we do here, and there's a reason why we're doing it.
Yep.
We want to make sure that we're setting you up for success. We're not here to have you fail and be like, yep, here's your heavyweight permit. Good luck. That's just not the way we operate. We want to make sure you have all the information. Unfortunately, we give so much information that we overflow everyone, but a lot more information is better than none. But yeah.
I'd like to say something on that too, JR. When you make the individual choice to haul overweight, your choice is affecting way more people than just you.
Oh, yeah.
It's affecting every other driver that's out there, because then we have a target on our back from the police saying, yeah, that JFW company, man, they're always hauling overweight. So it's your choice to put that away and say, you know what, I'm not going to haul overweight because I don't want to get harassed. So remember that the next time you consciously make the choice to load it up and break the law.
Yeah.
Please.
True story. I explained to one of the drivers yesterday that, as a regular license holder, a Class C license holder, right, which is your regular POV, your regular truck, car, whatever. When you make decisions while you're driving that car, it's just a traffic decision. It's just a driving decision. But when you get in a big truck with a Class B or Class A, it can be a life-changing decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because every decision you make, whether it's the weight, how you merge, whether you speed or don't speed, it can be a life-changing decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get into an accident, you get a ticket or whatever, it changes a big time.
That's right. What if you had that tiny little fender bender and then the officer says, let me see your scale ticket,
Yep.
and you're overweight. And then, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, it's over at that point.
Yeah. How many times do we say that, if you got to go to court for that, they're going to look for everything and anything.
I saw a stupid Frank Azar commercial during the news last night, and he had like 5 people. Frank Azar got me this much, this much, this much. Have you been hit by a big truck? Call me, the strong arm. Yeah. It's like a witch hunt.
Yep. Yeah. And again, just this last portion here, just please ensure you're operating within the limits that we're giving you guys. Don't risk 3 months worth of your safety bonus just to make a few bucks here and there on this load or that load. Your safety bonus is actually a lot more than what you could probably make.
Not to mention the ticket,
Plus the ticket, plus how many times do you have to go to court?
Yeah, I mean, we just had that one driver, $103,000 on the interstate. That was a $9,000 ticket.
Yeah.
Guess who's ponying up that? Not us.
Nope.
Yeah, you have to haul.
$9,000. I mean, even your safety bonus is not as much as that in 3 months.
In a year?
A year,
a year, maybe,
yeah.
But
it's still a lot. It's a lot.
It is the whole year for a driver that's making $90,000.
Yeah.
And
how many times do we all, I didn't know, or I forgot, I didn't look. Like, what are we doing? That's our job. That's part of our job.
I was on the phone, couldn't look. So did we have somebody on the interstate over 90 yesterday?
We did, unfortunately. So we will have to meet with the individual today. And in fact, he took 2 loads. One was over 92. He did take secondaries with that one. But one of the earlier ones, he was just about 91 and a half, and he took the interstate.
That's negligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've terminated people for that.
And that can't be I forgot, because I was at the middle of the day and this person had already done 2 or 3 loads to the same place.
Man, greedy gravel. Huh. So, can't wait to find out who that was.
Yeah, ancient problem, isn't it, you guys? I'd like to like to be able to sit here and not give my 2 cents worth on it, but
Let's hear it, Jim.
Yeah, you've been quiet sitting there listening to us harp on it. So,
because I've been trying to, through all of this, and JR has done a great job, and, all our regulations, all our rules, losing the safety bonus, but this is such an old problem, and I want to speak about the odds of it that, we haul hundreds of loads a day and never get bugged, and the chance of us getting bugged or bothered, I guess is a different word, or pulled over is really, really low. But you can't look at it that way. You have to look at it. What Jam just brought up is that one time you get pulled over and you're so far overweight that, it's a $9,000 ticket. Or you go out, JR said it, Super Dave just said it. What if you hurt somebody? They'll rake you over the coals. They'll take you're done. Azar will just own you. And you'll never have a good credit score. You'll have to file bankruptcy. You may never have to pay it back.
You may go to jail.
You may even go to jail. Like you said, Jam, it's negligence. And I don't know, the person that's taking this on is not looking at the big picture. And I told Super Dave, because it's he came into the office this morning. He's like, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? That's just an age old question. Why? And I'm like, well, it's their character. And I think, I bug people about putting away the shopping cart. Well, that doesn't cost, I can't get a ticket for it. I can't get pulled over. I can't get sued by Frank Azar. At least I hope I can't, by pushing my cart back. But that is strictly a character thing, right? Yeah. That's you. That speaks directly to you. Hauling overweight, let's say, we've been slow, you guys, right? Hey, I'm only going to work till 2:00 today or 1:00. Only got 2 loads. I'm going to make it count. I'm going to load it up. Are they thinking that way? They're protecting their livelihood. That there is not the same as putting my shopping cart away. But you cannot take the chance and think that way. Super Dave said he did the math on it. We're talking $12-15 to you personally for hauling 30,000 or 85,000. I'm sorry. 32 tons compared to 27 tons or 25 tons. It's $12-15. Please, I know you might be justifying it because I need to feed my family. I need to get this done. I'm only working till 2:00. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt of having a reason, having a background of why you're taking those chances when putting away the shopping cart is just your character. That's all that's involved.
Yep.
And I guess I don't know if that helps explain it. I mean, we understand, but you can't. It's going to lead that when the odds run out, you're going to lose. Yep. That's all there is to it.
It goes back to the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Take the time, run the numbers. How much more are you making if you're making that decision to haul overweight when you're not supposed to or whatever, right? Add it up for however many loads you're doing. Multiply that by 5 days out of the week or 6, whatever you want to do, right? At the end of the day, yeah, you make some extra cash, but is it worth it? Is it worth that overweight ticket? Is it worth, disqualifying yourself from your safety bonus for 3 months, not 1, 3 months? And then is it worth possibly having to lose, 1, 2, or even 3 days worth of work? If you're averaging $300 a day or possibly even more, 3 days of work, that's $900 already on that. Unless you're using PTO to get paid for it, but even then you're using something that you should be using for something else.
And what's the 3 days for? Is that a suspension?
Going to court?
No, going to court. They don't just go and make a decision for you that one day. And this is from personal experience.
Oh, yeah.
Almost 10 years ago. But you go the first day there hoping that they'll just dismiss it. But no, it's like, hey, do you either want to pay or do you want to take this to trial? Okay, well, I want to take it to trial to get it reduced, right? Well, you go in the second day and they're like, are you sure you want to take it to trial or whatever? And this is in Denver. Well, yeah, I do. So are we going to move along? And they're like, nope, we got to do one more court date. So I had to go for 3 separate days. So it's a loss of income in that in itself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for just hauling a little bit lighter.
Yeah. And then you had to set up a payment plan to pay the fine.
Yeah. And then at the time, I didn't know much about bridge law. I was hauling old 007 with the CPS trailer, which was a pretty short trailer. but they pull out bridge loan in Denver for you. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm only, at the time, I thought 9,500 pounds over. They measure my axles, like, nope, you're supposed to be at 78,000 pounds.
Ooh.
So now I'm actually at 11,500 pounds over what I'm supposed to be at. So that just tacks on to more.
Mhm.
How much was the fine, JR?
For me, it was $4,200.
That's not bad.
So 4,200. I'll take that over the 9,300 or whatever the other person got. But still, that's to have to pay that over, even if I had to pay that over a year's time.
Yeah.
That sucks. It's a
Yeah.
car
Yeah.
payment every single month
Yep.
for a year.
Dang it, driver.
Yeah. And then the last thing to that, the person that did haul the 90 and over 92,000 on the interstate, like you said, Jam, that's criminal, that's reckless and everything else. But all of us look at you different that way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't right now. You're not my favoriteest person.
No.
I mean, all there is to it. That speaks a lot to how.
Not mine either.
Yeah.
You just told me the only person you care about is yourself.
Yeah.
You don't care about me. You don't care about JFW. You just care about you.
Here's a simple question I asked the person we met with yesterday. Are you a person we can trust when we're not looking? Or do we have to look every single time?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
preferably you're a person we can trust without having to look. You know, maybe every 2 or 3 months we spot check and just see if you're good. And yeah, he's good. Don't have to check him.
Yeah.
Or do we have to check you every other day?
Yeah.
That just sucks.
And we allow so many other areas to push it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a big gray area,
Yeah.
but this is just a freaking no-no.
Right. Right. Like you can haul 84,000 on the interstate and
We really don't chase you down,
we
right?
don't. No.
Don't say that out loud. You just said it on the podcast, Dave, right? But there's God.
That's a courtesy, honestly, you know,
Yeah.
because sometimes that loader will get you a ton heavy,
Yes.
you
Dave.
know,
Yes, you're right.
Good deal.
but when
Yep.
you ask for 30 tons and you know you're going to jump right on I-25,
That's
you know what you're doing.
Or if it was an accident and you don't go trim. No.
Yeah, you just don't take the time and trip. Yeah.
you
All
won't have
right.
to trim if you're not asking for that much.
What was that?
Right.
You won't have to trim if you're not asking for that
Usually
much.
not,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's get into tips and tricks with Armando, the Sergeant Del Val. This week's is a little bit different. Armando just wanted to get some things off his heart, and I am more than happy to read this. Number 40 is titled My Purpose. Good morning, JFW family, and welcome back to another week's of tips and tricks. Please remember that the purpose of these tips and tricks are just ways for us to be helpful, better, and safer drivers on the road. Let's be JFW professionals. So I just want to put it out there that I'm not a safety director. I will not report you or tell on you whatsoever. If you're doing something reckless, dangerous, or not having situational awareness, Samsara will notify the safety directors. Now, I love doing tips and tricks. When Ray was giving his out, I loved it, and I tried my best to do it exactly how he said. Even though there was some disagreement, I still loved listening to his tips and tricks. Last April and May, I can't remember, I wrote Jam a message asking him if I could write something down for him to read. It was about working here during the summertime and how it can affect some of us mentally. I wanted to let people know that if they're struggling with life, money, relationships, or anything, we are here to help. I wasn't planning on continuing writing more after that, but apparently people loved what I wrote. The brothers were happy that tips and tricks were back. Jam messaged me the night before to check if I had one for the next day. They wanted more, even though it was hard for me at the time to figure out what I wanted to say. And honestly, I really didn't want to continue because it was becoming a little too much for me. I almost came close to messaging Jam that I can't continue. I'm sure everything would have been okay and they would have figured something else out, but I was getting positive feedback from the drivers, telling me that they loved it and that they learned something from it. So I chose to continue writing more and decided to spice it up with titles, introduction, professionalism, and even an ending statement. Even adding together we can be better. Even though that's not part of the creed, that's my added creed and my promise to every single one of you that I will try my best to help you to be better. And a lot of drivers have reached out to me for help, and I am also reaching out if I need any help. I love doing this. I'm numbering my tips and tricks because I want everyone to know that I'm committed. I'm waking up earlier than my usual time to work on my tips and tricks. I'm staying late at the yard so I can work up on my tips and tricks. I'm staying up late so I can work on my tips and tricks. I do all this because I care, and that's my purpose. There's no extra money. There's no special awards for this. Nothing. This is just me doing this because I want to help. I have had a few drivers call me out on a couple of times in the past. Some said they felt like I was telling everyone how to drive. Others were saying that they feel like I'm better than everyone. One driver said, "How about you shut the F up and let us drive?" Just know that driver no longer works here, but it's not because of me. He just wasn't committed enough. I really love doing these tips and tricks, and I'm going to be honest. I'm not the best driver here. Every day I'm learning more and more to be better. 3 years ago, when I first started working here, I was horrible. We could all agree to
I
that.
remember that.
No.
Safety directors had to talk to me a couple times. Hell, I'm sure someone even probably thought I was going to quit or get fired. That's why I continue writing more tips and tricks. I want to help you all be better so that you don't make the same mistakes I've made. But something happened last week that really pinched a nerve. Something that was in my head all of my Army drill training. I'm not going to mention what it was, but I was pretty close to telling Jam this isn't worth it. Jam knows what's going on in my life right now, and so does a few other people here. Getting called out like that last week, I don't want to add that to my list. I want to help, but if I'm going to get mocked or called out from an individual, to me, it's not worth it. I'll stop writing tips and tricks and just do what everyone is here to do and just drive. So I ask if anyone has anything to say to me, please message me privately. We can figure this out together. I will never be disrespectful to anyone, so please don't be disrespectful to me. Please let me know on Connect Team, what do you think about this week's tips and tricks? And thank you again all for listening and the positive feedback. Let's start doing things the JFW way. Until next week, Armando the Sergeant of All, 0073. Together, we can be better.
I don't know. Here.
Yep.
Yep. I just want to say, Armando, good job. Keep doing it because you're doing it for the right reason, and that's just to help people.
You know, my favorite poem, the Silent Warriors heard it. Everybody here at the table, have heard it. And Jam mentioned earlier in the podcast, the man in the arena or the person in the arena, whether it's man or a woman, doesn't matter. But if we're all in the arena getting bloodied and marred and dusty and everything like that, Armando's going to be one of the first people I walk over to and either ask for help or give help to, because he's in the frickin' arena. And the other things that we talk about in the podcast, there's a lot of people that I wouldn't help or I wouldn't go to for help. Armando's a guy I would go to for help, just like the people sitting here at this table, and man, I and he knows, and Jam, I know you have some comments on it. Armando, I know that the people that are criticizing you, they don't count. And I get it. But I also understand that it's not worth it. It's not worth him doing this if he's going to take that. Because in any circumstances, how do you stop, I'm going to call it bullying or the bullshit? You just stop. You stop doing it. So if he stops doing this, all that goes away. It's done. He's done, not done here or anything, but he's just done. He doesn't have to deal with it. And we all have plenty going on in our lives, of course, not to have something else put on our shoulders. So yeah, you've done a great job, Armando. And I just like I clapped for you. I'm embarrassed that there's people here that possibly, or people, I know there is, I'm embarrassed that there's people here and work here that have attacked him in any way.
Yeah, those people should be embarrassed of themselves.
Oh my God.
Right? Here's Armando. He was out on maternity leave for 12 weeks on FAMLI, and he didn't skip a beat. He missed maybe one.
I think, yeah.
One. So he's at home, not being paid by JFW, supposed to be spending time with his family, and continues to contribute to JFW, right? And Armando, if you stop, we lose.
Yeah, we lose.
Yeah, JFW loses, and when I say JFW, it's the men in this room, but also all the people that appreciate your tips and tricks.
Okay.
They lose too. And then these 2 or 3 individuals that do nothing, right, except for think about themselves, they win. They're cancers, right?
Mhm.
And I also want to throw out there, Connect Team is not your personal Facebook, right? That's not a place to talk shit and attack people. I don't care if you've had too much to drink or you want to get something off your chest. That's not the place to do it. That's for business. We could joke around a little bit on there, but you got to keep it respectful. But if that's your place to attack people personally, please take a look in the mirror and change your ways.
Agreed. Yeah, respectful. I think that's the word.
Yeah, you could have some fun, man. We gotta have fun. We're in this job so much. There's so much other stresses outside of this, and what we do that if we're just focused on negativity, like how's your day? Like it's just, are you that unhappy of an individual that you have to go and pick on somebody else that's doing it the right way? And so much to unpack from Armando's, tips and tricks, or his what I feel like a heartfelt letter out to his peers. Armando, you don't need a title. You may not have the title of a safety director. You don't need that title to become better, to become a leader. So keep doing it, man. We enjoy it, and step up. People, when people step up into a leadership role without wanting to, and you have those that are howling in the background, make them howl louder.
Yeah.
It's called being an everyday leader.
Yep.
Here's Armando. He's getting ready to retire from doing 20 years
of serving
the country, and you got people chirping at you.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what their defects are, why they feel maybe not competent, where they got to lash out at somebody else who's doing a good thing. But man, talk about lack of character.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's got a title, JR, and that's a title of a person with a big heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was picking a team, he'd be one of my close.
That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I just call him Sergeant.
I mean, if I was in the arena and I was struggling, sir, I would go to him for help. It's not like I would pick the guy out. I would go to him for help.
It's the guy you want as a tag team partner.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm struggling, Armando. What can you do for me? And there's so many people here like that also, and it's like hitting the gate story, but got a few bad apples.
Yeah.
And it's just ruining it for the rest of us. If you want to be miserable, keep your misery to yourself.
Yeah. I like to throw a challenge out there to the people that have something to say about Armando's tips and tricks. Why don't you write one?
Yeah.
Why don't you take some initiative and do something?
Because they're not involved.
Right.
Armando, like you said, he's on maternity. Well, not paternity leave.
Paternity, I guess.
He's back now.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't have to do that. He's not getting paid. All of that stuff.
Right.
Shit.
Maybe we should pay him. I think we at least have a gift card up here.
Right.
Come see us later.
Right.
Armando.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that goes back to, I guess character, Jim, or whatever. But if you're so bothered by somebody just trying to help, then again, I believe what you said, you got to look back at the mirror. If you don't like what you see, that's a you problem,
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole, I mean, I know we could go on and on, you guys, you go, to one town and, everybody there is terrible to you and everything else. And, treat you like an asshole. You go to the next town, same old saying. And, they treat you the same way. You get to the third town, like, well, maybe you are an asshole. Maybe that's how you deserve to be treated. So yeah, just, it's rough. Keep it up, Armando.
Bring the energy that you want.
Yeah.
You want positivity out of your day. That's how you got to start it.
Super Dave, I'd ask you to do your high road home, but I feel like you're just going to tell us what to do.
Okay. Maybe if you don't like it, then you can
write my own.
No, you can
complain on Connect Team.
Yeah. You got me. I don't know how this keeps happening, you guys, but I just write these things completely off the cuff, and we talk. Then we sit down and have this podcast and talk about current events and things like that. And I don't know how it happens, but it lined up once again. So the title of this one this week is Sticks and Stones May Break My Bones, but Words Can Never Hurt Me. Well, you know what? Maybe they can. So I was reading an article the other day that touched on vitriol. Do you know what that is?
I don't, Dave. Yeah.
Is that like a drug?
I didn't either. Right. It sounds like a weight loss drug. But anyway, I had no idea, so I looked it up. The official definition is cruel and bitter criticism, harsh and caustic language like a venomous attack. The word is derived from Latin, meaning sulfuric acid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vitriol, Dave?
Vitriol. Yep.
Vitriol. Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. It is possible for emotional pain to be as severe as physical pain. We suffer from broken hearts or experience bruised feelings with ribs or along with ribs or toes. This makes sense because we can have a throbbing headache or feel the pain of missing someone so much that you ache all over. The link goes beyond the metaphorical. Here are 6 fascinating truths science has revealed about the physical ramifications of emotional pain. Number 1, we're hardwired to feel emotional pain as well as physical pain. Just as we flee from something that is hurting us in order to survive, we will also avoid someone who never has anything nice to say or has a habit of spewing such harsh words, vitriol, it feels like we're stabbed in the heart with a knife. Social pain may be more like physical pain than not. While both physical and emotional pain hurt, on the surface they seem different, but slicing your finger and being dumped by someone you love seem different, but the neurons in your brain react very much the same, as found by Naomi L. Eisenberger, who is a PhD doing neuroimaging experiments in the lab. Words hurt just like sticks and stones. In a series of studies done by Martin Teacher, or Teicher, something like that, who is an MD and PhD, he has found that verbal aggression causes larger effects than even familiar physical abuse in children, especially evident in middle school years when the brain is actively developing. Exposure to bullying and verbal abuse can cause changes to the white matter in the brain. So then I looked that up and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought brains are always referred to as gray matter, but apparently there's other cells in the brain that they refer to as white matter, and those are the neurons that transmit the electrical impulses from one part of your brain to another. So some of us are more sensitive to both kinds of pain than others. You probably know who you are. And this can be called rejection sensitivity. The person who is nervous about going to a party or is prone to read into a text that they've just gotten. Those who have a heightened sensitivity to social pain also report having more physical symptoms, including greater pain. Emotional or physical pain hurts more when it's deliberately inflicted, like that person that's cutting you down, right? A study was done where people were grouped into pairs, and this took me a minute to understand. They were grouped into pairs, and one of them was designated to apply pain through an electric shock, as well as other things that were benign, like color matching or number estimation, when they're just asking you a question, 2 and 2 equals 4, right, or whatever. Then the giving participant was told that the shock would be switched, unbeknownst to them, so that the person receiving that shock would not be expecting it. They were expecting just a benign reaction from like 1 + 1 = 2, and then they got a shock. Well, the imaging on the recipient showed that when the pain was intended, like they knew they were getting that shock, it was perceived as more painful, even though the literal amount of pain was the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that when somebody is bullying somebody else, it's more pain emotionally for that person. So when somebody says get over it, it's hard in either case. You wouldn't find yourself telling someone to get over the pain of a broken leg, but you very well might say that to someone suffering emotional pain from a breakup or a difficult childhood. So be careful, right? Think about what you're saying. Physical or emotional pain takes time to heal. Both take a lot of effort on your part, whether physical therapy for physical pain or visiting a mental therapist for emotional pain. Perhaps the hardest part is acknowledging that you can't heal from mental pain alone, and then being brave enough to ask someone for help. The quote this week for our high road hauling was spoken by someone extremely famous who knows a lot about pain. She says, "It has been said that time heals all wounds. I don't agree. The wounds remain. Time and the mind, protecting its sanity, covers them with some scar tissue, and the pain lessens, but pain is never gone." And that's spoken by Rose Kennedy.
Hey,
So true.
great one.
So,
You'll remember a time where you cut yourself or broke a bone or whatever and probably laugh about it. But then if you remember a time where somebody hurt you emotionally, that still kind of hits.
you don't laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't laugh about it. You just kind of remember and you're like, oh,
Yep.
that sucked.
Yeah, you probably avoid that more than like working on something and you're like, oh, I'm gonna cut my finger or I'm gonna scrape my knuckles or whatever, because you can get over that. But
Yeah.
like you're saying, JR, that I would avoid that person. If I knew I was going to be
You
bullied.
do.
As simple as remembering your first heartbreak. Like you
Yeah.
still remember now, and you might laugh a little bit, but still it hurts. You're like, I remember that time. you
Yeah,
know?
not going to put yourself in that situation again.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Final thoughts, everyone?
Yeah. So, yeah, it kind of all goes in together. This is something I posted yesterday as a video on social media and stuff, but it talks about growth, growing. We all grow in our own way, whether it's our professional life or personal life, whatever it is, right? But grow until you can, until you have to outgrow your current self, and then you step out into your next growth, leaving behind what is no longer needed. Because if you end up getting back to what the things that you already have, but you don't need to grow into the next self that next step that you have, you're not really growing. You're still stuck in that same state. And it's almost like I think about JFW, right? We're here at this yard and we have outgrown our current self in so many ways, not just physically, but also, electronic DVIRs, getting away from paper, things like that. But we can't grow anymore where we're at. So now we're going to a new spot, a new place, a new whole system, whatever. And now we will grow more in that new situation. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's very true. That's very true. Jam, what are you going to ask you? I'm going to put you on the spot. Little personal question.
Uh-oh.
You pray, right, Jam?
Yeah.
And you pray every day?
Yes.
Or you try to, or I think you do, right?
Yes.
What do you, just as a personal insight, what do you pray for, Jam? What do you?
Oh man, Jim. So there's a lot of different prayers throughout the day that I do. And I say this with humility. Like some of the stuff I do is written prayers and some are more like just from the heart, my own. Typically I pray for health and happiness, financial abundance for others. And then just, for myself, just the same, health and happiness and stuff like that.
Yeah, and what I'm getting at, Jam, and you described it, and that's what I was leading up to, is the health and the happiness, Jim, they lead to other things.
Oh.
They may lead to that financial success in your workplace, success in relationships, but you're not just praying for, finding a sexy woman. You're praying for all the other things that will lead to that.
Absolutely.
And my final thought is if you are praying a personal prayer, whether it's religious or anything, pray for the things that lead you to a better life, that lead to your personal success, because I think that will lead you to other things. The simpleness of this is all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. And out of each experience I go through, only good will come to me. I am safe, I am protected, and I am loved. And that's something I've been trying to say to myself every day. Every morning I wake up.
I like that.
And it's just, and I don't want to put bring religion into it. I don't want to put religion out of it, but it's that thought of going forward, of making you better. And JR, with all the stuff we're changing with the electric, that's all good will come to me, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. And we tend to forget the challenges for that too.
Yeah.
Like we may be praying like, oh, I pray I become rich. what do you have to do to get there, right? You got to put in that work.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's not just going to be, I won the lottery. The very few that have done that, great.
Yep.
But, there's going to be challenges in between, what you're praying now and whatever that future may hold, and you just got to be willing to challenge yourself and go through those. They're not going to be fun all the time. And that's part of being molded,
Yeah.
Good final thought there.
Yeah. Thank you.
So weird. So I was like, when Super Dave was talking about, sticks and stones will break my bones and the power of the tongue, I'm like, I know this Bible scripture about that, right? And I started looking just now and I'm like, wait a second, my morning Devo is exactly what we're talking about. I don't need to look anything up. So Matthew 5:11-12 says, blessed are you when others revile you, which means criticize or, shoot you down and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. And then I got a little quote here. Let them push you, but do not push. Let them crucify you, but do not crucify. Let them insult, but do not insult. Let them slander, but do not slander. Be meek and do not be zealous in evil. And that's from St. Isaac the Syrian.
That's awesome, Jim.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's the stuff I pray for, is not to react like what you described.
Yeah, I feel like I did react, and I'm going to have to edit some of this podcast.
Yeah. I probably disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I think you were good.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
That reminded me of Bruce Lee's quote about water.
There you go. All those in favor of me editing, say aye. All those in favor of me not editing, nay.
Nay.
Okay. All right, guys. Super Dave, did you have anything else for a final
I'll
thought?
tell you, just be careful what you say. Think before you say it. You could be hurting someone a lot.
And all.
And you really don't want that, the Lord's Prayer, right? You don't want that coming back at you either.
Yeah.
And also, be careful how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Make sure your self-talk is on point as well.
Positive, right?
Yep.
Be the light in all the darkness around us, because there's somebody looking for it.
Bam.
Yeah.
All right, let's say the creed and get on out.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us. Together we are accident-free. Together we joyfully create us value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Be safe,
You
everybody.
got a great day.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. We'll lay it all out on the line. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. They just keep them doors a-closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.